Well, with all the videos that I've made on Capybara Go, there's actually only one video where I went through and showed me completing a chapter. But once I made it to this new world, chapter 81, I found that things become a lot more difficult. So today, I'm going to give you my kind of thought process of how I decide to do things, and don't worry, it's not going to be the full 27 minutes of the battle. So with this chapter, I've only made it to the final boss once, and I realized real quick how much I was under-leveled inside the game. This one here, if I remember correctly, basic attacks hit for about 35 mil, and then the rage hit is going to be hitting for about 70 mil. So if you don't have 105 million health right off the bat, you're getting pretty much one-shotted. And this is going to be the gear we're going in with today: the Nomad Bow, the Dragon Breath, one of the Guardian Rings, one of the Fire Rings, the Bloody Grail, and then the Proof of Glory. And you can see down below that we're only sitting at 80 million health and 16.5 attack. Now, I know a lot of people say there's no skill in this game at all, but there actually is some. I mean, yes, I could wait to go and just play for a month, get stronger, and just be overpowered for that chapter. But if you're like me, you want to try to do everything you can to beat that chapter you're stuck on at that moment. So this is going to be one of those things where I really need to find the balance of getting enough attack in and killing the enemies before round 30 while still having enough health and able to maintain that health. When we come up to that final boss, we can stay alive. Now, the reason why I've only made it to the final boss once is once you reach day 50, that's going to be a swordsman and a necromancer. And if they're both able to pop off at the same time, it's about 120 million damage coming your way. So right off the start, we have some good choices here by getting legendary picks. I think I'm going to go for the Royal Crown on this one because my main focus is going to be getting my HP as high as I can. The dodge would have been a nice one, but this just seemed to be a better scenario. Now, I knew this was going to be a good run when the next skills popped up, and that was legendary also. And the fact that I have combo mastery in there, this is an OP skill to get with this Nomad Bow. And at this point of the game, the only thing I'd probably pick over that if I saw it would be the crit mastery. So the first mob, which was a necromancer, died in about 9 rounds, which is absolutely perfect for me. Usually the first enemy I go up against, I sometimes will stop it and slow it down to 1x speed and just kind of see what's the actual damage they're hitting me for. I'll usually do this for the first initial hit, and then after I get 5 stacks of Elsa, just kind of know where I'm sitting inside the game. Killing the second mob gives me enough experience to get another skill, and this is going to be the time where I use my first refresh. Now, I've been kind of careless in the past with this. I usually try to just keep to 1 refresh if I don't see something I like. And this one popped up with a double attack, double hits, or rage mastery. Now, the rage mastery, I'm totally staying away from this because I am going to be going into long round battles, so that doesn't really make sense to keep on reducing my rage. And even the one that was double attack, that first round, I'm not really hitting that hard anyways, and I really want to get things stacked. It just makes sense for me to grab the double hits. As I got a little further in, this is where things became difficult because I was hit with Frozen Touch, Shrink, or even Crit Mastery. And obviously, I'm going to go for the Crit Mastery on this, but it just feels so weird saying no to those other 2 ones, especially knowing how well they can help me inside this chapter. And up to this point, just from grabbing stuff from going through days like extra attack and HP, we're now sitting at 126 million health. But in my mind, that still isn't enough, and I haven't actually really grabbed any way for healing except for the fact that we have Ellie and the actual Dragon Breath armor. So I do need to find some ways to get some more health or ways to replenish it, and it wouldn't be a bad idea to get some shields too. The next set of skills that popped up gave me the option for this critical recovery. However, though, I don't really want to focus when I'm down below that last 30%. I want to try to heal up all the way throughout the game, so I'm going to use a refresh on this and see what I get. And as much as I wanted to heal myself up or grab a shield, I just cannot say no to this Frozen Touch. The next set of skills that pop up give me that critical recovery again, a bolt or a basic shield. And seeing how I am building around basic attacks, it seemed like a good idea to go for the shield one. Our last set of skills before going into the first boss, we have the option for Alchemist, Critical Dodge, or even Counter Mastery. The fact that we don't have any poison out there right now doesn't make sense to go for that. The Dodge would be a good one, but I do want to try to focus on the heal, and it seems like we've got a lot of stacks of everything else. It'd be nice to have the trio here and just get the counter one too. Looks like we're getting the 2-headed crow here, and there's really only a couple of things I'm focusing on. I want to know how hard this thing's hitting me and how many rounds it actually takes to complete it. If I'm taking longer than 25 rounds and it's getting pretty close to the end, I know I need to build some more attack. If I don't and I beat it a lot quicker like I did on this one, then I know, okay, I'm good on the attack, I could still focus on that actual health inside the game. And I lucked out on this one. There was the option to get the mythic skill of super health, which is definitely what I need inside the game. Coming out of that though, there was a deal with the devil, and I'm going to say no to that because once again, we're trying to hang on to all that health. Coming out of that boss and running into the first mob gets insta-killed, we're hit with another set of skills, and this one here, we're gonna go for the shield once again. As far as battling other mobs along the way that I'm not insta-killing, I'm still kind of maintaining that around 9-10 rounds of defeat on them, which is still a perfect number to see. After defeating that one, we got some common skills here, and it looks like Critical Frenzy is the best option for me. As I got further in, I ran into a Stone Spear, and this gave me the option to upgrade one of my skills. It didn't really make sense to do it on the Frozen Touch, the fact that I'm not having any issues killing any of the enemies, and as far as the one that was below 30% grabbing a shield, that didn't really seem like a good way to go. I mean, it would have been okay, but we did have this basic one right here, which is going to be giving shields a lot more to me, and making that shield stronger seemed like the best way. Now, when I got to day 40, this is where things became a little bit of a concern because I was going up against the vampire, who does heal themselves during attacks, and then I realized that after I got to round 28 that I was going to need a little bit more attack inside the game, or I was going to get in some big trouble and time out on round 30. I feel like my health is pretty decent right now, sitting at almost 185 million, so it's okay for me to now make a pivot and start working on the other end. Defeating them gave me enough experience for another basic one. You can see here we have a heavy attack, we have a combo, and we have a spear every round. I'm focused around this crit, and I want to make sure I can crit as much as I can, so that's why I went for the heavy attack. Defeating them also gave me the mythic chest, which gave me the option for the firecracker, doing combos up to 2 times, or even the rage 2 times. The fact that I want to focus more on doing those basic attacks and really critting on those, that's why I went for the combo one. I feel like the rage would have been kind of like an equivalent, but in my mind, I figured that I'm getting basic attacks more than I was getting rage attacks, so that's why I went with that. Still breezing my way through, I had another selection of some common skills. Nothing really looked good to me, so I did the refresh, and that's where I saw HP recovery. And that's really going to help me out with those big hits, especially when I need Ellie or even my armor to kind of give me a little bit of health back. This will help amplify that. I ran into the lucky spin and got myself a Rage Icy Spike, and then when it came time to using some of that health in there to roll a second time, all it did was give me 25% health recovery. When it came time to facing those double bosses on day 50, this one went incredibly well and made me feel like I had a decent chance of beating this. With only 14 rounds and having 35 stacks of attack and then 25 stacks of the crit, this made it go pretty freaking quick. Coming out of that, I did grab an enhanced rage, which is just going to increase the damage of my rage skills, and then I grabbed a basic attack bolt, which is basic attacks sometimes have a chance of casting a bolt. Couple mobs later, I then picked up a shrink spell, and then running into the statue again to go and upgrade, I could have taken the shrink spell there. I could have even grabbed this whole HP recovery and upped that a little bit, but I really focused on the actual doing damage inside the game, so that's where I went and enhanced that rage even more. But when it came to the final boss, this was probably the best run I could have had inside the game, and didn't even take a full 30 rounds. I think it was something like 18, but I had 48 stacks of my attack on it. That brought me over 200 million for my attack. I still had the crit in there too with about 31 stacks on that, so if I was hitting hard inside the game. So now that I beat that, all I gotta really struggle and worry about now is what's gonna be in chapter 82. But let me know if you guys wanna see more videos like this. Don't really know how often I'm gonna do them, but if you guys wanna see them, I can make them. But if you guys wanna know about the new update and everything that came along with it, take a look at this video right here. Thanks for watching, and remember, I pick my butt.